In a small town, there was an old, abandoned hospital that no one dared to visit. The building had stood for decades, once a place of healing, now nothing more than a decaying structure shrouded in fear and mystery. The townspeople whispered that it was cursed, haunted by the spirits of those who had died within its walls. They said that on certain nights you could see lights flickering in the windows, even though the hospital had been without power for years. Long ago, the hospital was a busy place, filled with patients seeking care. But something went horribly wrong. Patients began to vanish from their beds, and when they were found, they were lifeless, with no explanation for their deaths. Doctors and nurses tried to keep calm, but the disappearances continued, and a sense of dread spread throughout the building. One stormy night, the hospital lost power. The lights went out, plunging the entire building into darkness. In the chaos that followed, the sounds of screams echoed through the halls. When the lights finally flickered back on, the hospital was silent. Everyone had vanished, patients, doctors, nurses, leaving behind only empty beds and an overwhelming sense of doom. After that night, the hospital was shut down, its doors locked, and its windows boarded up. But the stories didn't stop. Some people claimed to hear faint cries for help when they passed by the building, while others swore they saw shadowy figures moving behind the windows. One night, a group of curious teenagers decided to explore the hospital, hoping to prove that the stories were just myths. As they stepped inside, they felt a sudden chill, as if the air had turned icy cold. The building was dark, the only light coming from the moon outside, casting eerie shadows on the walls. They wandered through the halls, their footsteps echoing ominously. The air was thick with the smell of decay, and as they moved deeper into the hospital, they began to hear faint whispers. The sound grew louder, surrounding them, until it seemed like the walls themselves were speaking. The whispers were unintelligible, but filled with a sense of desperation and pain. In the old operating room, they found an ancient, rusted table. The room was freezing, and the air was filled with the metallic scent of blood. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and they saw a ghostly figure standing by the table. It was a doctor, his face hidden behind a mask, his eyes hollow and empty. The temperature dropped even further, and the group felt an overwhelming urge to run. As they fled the hospital, the whispers followed them, growing louder and more frantic. They burst through the front doors, not daring to look back. When they finally reached the safety of the town, they were shaken, their faces pale with fear. They vowed never to return to the hospital and warned others to stay away. The hospital remains abandoned, a dark and foreboding presence in the town. The stories continue to spread, and everyone knows that no one who enters ever comes out the same. The spirits that haunt the building are trapped, unable to find peace, and they ensure that anyone who disturbs them will never forget the terror they felt within those cursed walls. Thanks for watching video, and subscribe my channel for more videos.